Their eyes aglow, the undead forces came on to the Hydran lines. Ricard had never seen its like. Even the stories of his elders about the Grand Alliance couldn't fully justify the dread he felt looking on the ranks of the dead. Arrows clacked against the monstrosities in front of him, as the archers in the back rank loosed volley after volley, their arrows falling like rain. But the horde of undead seemed to shrug them off, the occasional arrow dropping a corpse to the ground, but these did not stay down. With a lambent glow, these fallen warriors pulled themselves back to their full height, arrows protruding from bones and unbloody wounds. Only the catapults of the Swift Shore battery seemed to hold the horde, their rocks breaking the undead monsters into pieces, mouldering remains scattered into the wind. The stench of the enemy caught in Ricard's throat, and he knew that if his forces did not defeat this evil, he would join them. The gap between the Hydran line and the oncoming undead was but a few yards when, as if with some great silent command, the undead surged forward. Ricard's guard remembered their training, darts raining down into the charging undead, catching them by the body and shins. The odd corpse dropped and stumbled its fellows. Then they were upon Ricard and his men, corroded blades, teeth and clawed hands reaching and grasping for them. As if driven by some malicious deity, Ricard was face to face with the parchment-coloured flesh of a horror. Its jaws working its peg-toothed mouth, but no breath gushed out of it, and its eyes were replaced by the green lambent glow of magic. Ricard's shield took the first and only blow the abomination made, as he thrust his blade deep into its neck. Suddenly, as if a puppet with its strings cut, the animated corpse dropped, almost taking Ricard's blade with it. Stepping forward into the gap, Ricard pushed further into the enemy lines. A rock sailed overhead from the Swift Shore battery, and then there was a crack of energy. A great discharge of light reached into the air, its green glow like a beacon on the battlefield. The undead in front of Ricard and his men faltered. "Forward!" he shouted, and with a great surge his men cut into the undead. Ricard laying around him with his sword, like a scythe through wheat, the undead dropping around him. Then, as the pressure of combat eased, Ricard saw a warrior in ancient armour, a glow around it as it cut down any living man that crossed its path. Somehow it was cackling as it fought, and the fear of it drove back Ricard's men. Stepping into the gap around the beast, Ricard prepared himself. "You're mine, monster!" he uttered as he closed. The ancient verdigris-clad warrior turned to face him, skull a mess of ancient flesh and hooked teeth, its eyes sickly green, promising the end of the world. Ricard struck with his blade, lightning fast, but somehow the creature had managed to parry the attack. He continued the attack with thrusts and cuts, but the undead warrior blocked attack after attack, cackling all the time. With a flick of its wrist, the bones grinding as the hand made an action that no living creature with tendons and flesh could do, the chipped bronze sword connected with Ricard's helmet. The enchantments bound within Ricard's armour discharged in a dazzling flash of light, the green sickly glow of the animated monster's unlife clashing with Hyash's pure white blessing. Pain more intense than Ricard had ever experienced in his life filled his body. Blinded by the light and the agony of the magical discharge, Ricard drifted into unconsciousness. A glow reached through Ricard's stupor. He was in a padded bed, the soft luxury of it clawing him back towards unconsciousness. He started to stir. His body was aflame with pain and his face ached.
"Your Majesty, try not to move so much. You've taken a grievous injury."
"What?" Ricard managed to growl out of his throat filled with gravel.
"You managed to banish a great evil, but it has cost you. Your body was ravaged by the magical discharge, but worse. Your left eye, my lord, it's gone."
Ricard realised the voice was coming from one of his court mages, Luthien Rangsford. "Luthien, did we win?"
"Yes, my lord."